Hey everybody, it's Melissa. Today we're going to be talking about clones and dupes and if they're worth it or not. Now I know that when you're considering getting a clone, watching individual reviews and comparisons is better, but I just kind of wanted to give you my opinion and where I stand on things because when I've been on lives recently, a lot of people have been asking why I never review clones. And that's just simply not true. I have a lot of videos on dupes and clones on my channel, but for the past year or so, I have been trying like the original fragrances and I just haven't had the opportunity to try the clones and the dupes. And I'm not against them, by the way. I know that some people get really pretentious with it and they're like, oh, I can never wear a clone. I always want to wear the original. And I respect that. But I do think that one pro about wearing a clone is the, not availability, is the affordability of it. You get things sometimes for 15 bucks. 20 bucks, 30 bucks, and especially when you've got people that are interested in these $300, $400 fragrances, even 100 to 200, that's a bit pricey. So if you can get something for a fraction of the price that smells pretty similar, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, I will tell you from my experience, I preferred clones of things if I didn't smell the original. Like if you watched my videos on Club de Nuit Intense for Women, which is a dupe of Noir de Noir by Tom Ford, I loved that fragrance. I was running that thing into the ground, especially on TikTok. If you were with me in my early TikTok days, I was always talking about that scent. It was a signature scent of mine for a pretty good amount of time, and it was this 100 ml bottle, and the performance was insane. Like I was getting over 7 to 8 hours of performance with this fragrance. And I got that bottle for about $22, $25. So that to me was an automatic steal. Now, when I actually went to try Noir de Noir by Tom Ford, no, I didn't try it. A follower gifted me the fragrance or there was something like that happened. I was blown away with the original. And then since then, I never touched Club de Nuit Intense for Women. So that's just my story on it, is when I have tried dupes, I've always liked them better if I didn't try the OG. All right. So if you're somebody that is watching a lot of fragrance videos online and there's something fancy like Baccarat Rouge, or you're seeing something like Creed Aventus and these price points are pretty crazy, but you enjoy that sort of DNA and you're someone that's not going to put down over 50 bucks on something, then absolutely go for trying these dupes if you haven't tried the original, because they can get you maybe 55, 60% there. There are some that are absolutely identical, and if I knew of them, I would tell you, but the ones that I've tried, unfortunately, have never hit the mark where I thought that the fragrances were interchangeable. Especially, I think one of the more popular comparisons that I did on my channel was Tuxedo versus Mustache by, I think it's Rochas, something like that. And I was in love with Tuxedo already. And when I tried Mustache, I just could not get with it. It was just more of like a burning smell. And I didn't really like it. And I thought to myself, I'm like, am I just biased because I have the original fragrance? But this is what I did. I wore both scents. I wore Tuxedo on one hand, Mustache on another hand. And then I actually had my sister compare the scents. And I didn't give her any inkling. I wasn't like, hey, tell me, this is the dupe, this is the original. I just said, hey, smell these fragrances and tell me what you think. That's all I said to her. Didn't give her anything about, oh, this is something you love. This is like a masculine scent. I just said, here, can you smell this and tell me what you like? And automatically she smelled Mustache and she was like, okay. And then she moved that thing to the side. Then she smelled Tuxedo. And this is again, like a couple years ago. She was like, oh, that's so good. That thing is way better. And then she smelled Mustache again. And then she was just not vibing with it. And then I told her, after she solidified her opinion on it, of what she loved and what she didn't like at all, I said, this is actually a dupe of Tuxedo. And she's like, they smell nothing alike. So that is a perspective of somebody that didn't know what those scents were, but could just tell off the bat that, well, they smelled completely different to her. And she obviously had a preference for the original. So again, that's my experience with things. But you can't knock down a really good price. And getting somewhere in that range of even 60% there, 70% there, that's not bad at all. You know what I mean? So I would say if you're someone that is looking, you're looking for, I don't want to say a bang for your buck, but just something more on the affordable side, then for sure look into Dupes, because you're going to find a lot of videos on it. But if you're someone that already has an established collection and you would consider yourself a fragrance connoisseur, I don't really think it necessary to go buy Dupes. I don't think that people that already kind of have a big enough collection are eagerly searching for dupe fragrances. It's mainly the people that are trying to either get started or are they're just trying to get started with their collection, and they want to do it in the best way possible with spending the least amount of money. However, my advice to kind of be a middle ground to both these things is to get the travel size things or decants of these fragrances. And a lot of times you can get them for free at Nordstrom, at Neiman Marcus, at Bloomingdale's. And there have been people that asked my opinion on bringing sample vials and then spraying the Try Me fragrances, like the tester bottles, that's what it is. Spraying the tester bottles in those vials. For me, I wouldn't do that just because I'd kind of be embarrassed to like do that in front of like the workers and stuff, especially when you can just ask them, hey, can I please get a sample of Libre by YSL? Can I get a sample of La Nuit de l'Homme by YSL or Bleu de Chanel or Flower Bomb? And a lot of the times they will give you samples of them if you go in person. Now, if you're someone that doesn't have access to that, you can just get the travel size bottles online or from, a trusted seller that you like. But again, I would say if you can go for discounters, just do that instead of going for retail, because they're going to charge a lot more for retail. I would always advise to go gray market. That's just me. But also having the trust with the brands of the gray market that you're going to get it from, because I know some people get really skeptical and hesitant when they don't have a relationship with the brand or the company and they've just never bought from them before. So I get it. But that's just the best of both worlds, especially if you're trying something like Baccarat Rouge, right? So you get like a sample of Baccarat Rouge, and that thing has really good performance in general. So you're wearing this thing, you're seeing how you like it, you're seeing how it wears, you're also wearing the original thing, and then it lasts a good amount of time because that vial is not going to be finished in a week's time. And that is also another con with dupes, is sometimes the longer they sit, the worse off they get. You know what I mean? Because the materials they're using, kind of like second rate materials and stuff like that. It's not something like the fragrances that you have in the originals that when they sit in your cabinet or wherever and they macerate, they smell better with time as time goes on. With dupes, it can kind of be the other way around, where they might smell good for a moment, but the longer you have it, you're like, why does this smell like it's getting worse and worse? And then you're kind of just throwing your money into like a never-ending pile of just having a scent that lasts for a good 2 months, but you never finish the bottle, and then you have to kind of repurchase it again. And then there's also people that just enjoy perfume oils, which is not something that I've really done, but perfume oils apparently last a long time, and you can just get a dupe perfume oil and you could be better off that way. So there's just a lot of options and alternatives to the sprayers if that's not really your thing. And I hope that kind of gave you at least a couple options that you can consider if you're a bit hesitant, or if buying these niche fragrances is just a bit out of your budget. So do what works well for you. I would try all of the options that I've given, because I think that everyone could at least gravitate to one of these things, and then you'll be completely fine. All right. So in the comment section below, let me know what you think of dupes, if you use them, if you're someone that is kind of like me, that you've just been surrounded by the originals, that you don't really care too much about trying the dupes, but you're not opposed to it. And I'll see you in the next video. All right. This has been a very popular question that I get. So I hope that that the people that wanted my opinion are happy that there's a video out now for it. All right. So have a good one. See you later. Bye.